Abajo, arriba, abajo, arriba. Estoy jugando a la serie Metal Gear por primera vez. Pues sí. Normal, porque difícil me tardaría más tiempo. Este juego es curioso, nunca lo
After the
jugué.
end of World War II, the world was split into two, East and West. This marked the beginning of the era called the Cold War.
Solo llegué a jugar algunos de Play 1, pero no me acuerdo cuál era. Creo que era el Metal Gear Solid normal, el 1. Pero este nunca lo jugué. Siempre vi gameplays, pero nunca lo había jugado. Ver, en Xbox One se ve súper bien. Digo, para hacer un juego que originalmente era para Play y después lo pasaron para 360.
Flying over Pakistan, altitude 30,000 feet.
Approaching Soviet airspace.
20 minutes to drop off.
Commencing internal depressurization. Equipment check. Arm main parachute.
All right. You ready to go?
Drop zone still showing a high pressure mass. Cav okay.
Good. We've got high visibility.
Put out that cigar. Connecting oxygen hose to interior connector. Put on your mask. Does this panty waste know what he's doing?
Approaching release point.
10 minutes to drop off.
Hey, are you deaf?
He said put out the cigar and put on your mask.
Siempre me ha dado curiosidad fumar un puro. Pero pues como no fumo, de seguro voy a acabar bien mareado.
Depressurization complete.
Checking oxygen supply.
6 minutes to drop off. Opening rear hatch.
Sunrise.
External temperature minus 46 degrees Celsius. 2 minutes to drop off. Stand up.
You'll be falling at 130 miles per hour. Try not to get frostbite from the wind chill.
1 minute to drop off. Move to the rear.
Activate bailout model.
This is one for the history books. The world's first halo jump.
10 seconds to drop off. Stand by. Status okay. All green.
Prepare for drop off. Countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Spread your wings.
And fly. God be with you.
Hideo Kojima.
Jack, I've got some important news. The head of the CIA has finally given us the green light for the virtuous mission.
Virtual mission?
No, the virtuous mission. The future of our Fox unit depends on it. If it succeeds, we'll be officially organized into a unit.
Virtuous mission? Sounds like some kind of initiation ritual.
You know, don't get cocky. This isn't a training op.
Right. So what exactly is this wonderful mission?
Well, about 2 years ago, a certain Soviet scientist requested asylum in the West through one of our moles. His name is Nikolai Stepanovich Sokolov. He's head of the OKB 754 Design Bureau, one of the Soviets' top-secret weapon research facilities, and the East's foremost expert on weapons development.
Sokolov, isn't he that famous rocket scientist?
The very same. On April the 12th, 1961, the Soviets achieved the first manned spaceflight in history.
The Earth was blue, but there was no God.
Well spoken. The rocket that carried Yuri Gagarin into orbit was the A-1, known as the Vostok rocket. Sokolov is said to be the man most responsible for the multi-engine cluster used in that rocket. After Gagarin's flight, Sokolov left rocket development to become the head of the newly established Design Bureau.
From a lowly technician to head of a design bureau, that's quite a success story, so why do you want to defect?
It seems he'd become afraid of his own creations.
Afraid?
Call it a crisis of conscience.
And for that, he left his country and his family behind and went over the fence?
Not exactly. One of his conditions was that his family was also to be taken safely to the west. We used a mole to get the family out first and succeeded in sneaking Sokolov over the Berlin Wall shortly afterwards. I was the one who conducted the operation.
The security on the eastern side was still full of holes back then. Then what?
We got Sokolov over in one piece, but the whole ordeal had left him exhausted, and we checked him into a hospital in West Berlin.
Este juego de vez en cuando tiene estas diapositivas para explicarte más o menos la historia, porque al fin de cuentas es de espías.
He was in no condition to say anything coherent. And it was only a week later that we had something much bigger on our hands.
The Cuban Missile Crisis.
October the 16th, 1962, President Kennedy received word that the Soviets were in the process of deploying intermediate-range ballistic missiles in Cuba.
La crisis de los misiles.
The President demanded that the Soviets...
Esta es una belleza porque prácticamente los gringos ya habían puesto sobre todo misiles en la frontera de Turquía, en varios lugares de la frontera de la Unión Soviética, pero cuando llegan los gringos y hacen exactamente lo mismo, queriendo poner misiles cerca de Cuba, que eran los misiles donde más cerca iban a estar de Estados Unidos, Gringolandia casi se quería meter una guerra porque, lógicamente, como siempre, ¿no? Uno no puede hacer lo mismo que los gringos.
End the hair-trigger standoff. Finally, on October the 28th, the Soviet Union agreed to remove its missiles from Cuba, and so the world avoided a nuclear holocaust. But in order to get the Soviets to pull their missiles out, we had to make a deal.
You mean the one where the US agreed to remove its IRBMs from Turkey?
No. The Jupiter IRBMs deployed in Turkey were obsolete, and we were going to get rid of them anyway. They had no strategic value whatsoever to either the US or the Russians. The Turkey deal was a ruse, a cover story that was fed to the other intelligence agencies around the world.
So what did the Russians really want?
Sokolov. They wanted us to return Sokolov.
You mean the Soviets pulled out of Cuba just to get their hands on Sokolov?
That's right.
What the hell was he working on?
At the time, we had no idea. We were running out of time. It was either give up Sokolov or risk full-scale nuclear war. In the end, we had no choice. President Kennedy gave in to Khrushchev's demand. The next day, I got Sokolov out of the hospital, handing him over to agents on the eastern side. Sokolov kept on screaming, "Save me," until he disappeared from my sight. Then a month ago, we received some new information from one of our moles.
About Sokolov?
Tomar mucho en cuenta que este juego de por sí toma varios acontecimientos de la historia reales para hacer su propia historia.
So what kind of weapon is it? Something to do with space rockets?
No, missiles.
Same technology.
I guess you're right. We don't know the details, but it appears to be a new kind of nuclear device. For half a year now, the Soviets have been conducting frequent nuclear tests at Semipalatinsk.
Something to do with the weapon, I assume.
We're talking about a secret weapon so big that Khrushchev was ready to pull out of Cuba to get it back.
Is Sokolov still in the facility?
Que por cierto, si un día alguien tiene curiosidad, le recomiendo mucho un documental que creo que es los años del muro, o creo que, si no, búsquelo como espías, Guerra Fría, o creo que es un documental, es una serie de documentales de la Guerra Fría, y hay uno especializado en espías. Ese está buenísimo. Porque todos pensamos en los espías de los gringos, ¿no? La CIA, el MI-18 creo, o M-18 de los británicos, ¿no? Pero los rusos, el KGB, tenía un buen sistema de espionaje, y además hay muchos espías de Occidente que por conciencia, por ideales, se pasaron a la lucha de los soviéticos. Está buenísimo, se los recomiendo. De hecho, por eso los rusos obtuvieron la bomba atómica, gracias a la inteligencia de los espías. Y porque dos científicos les dieron digámoslo burdamente, la fórmula para la bomba atómica. Por eso es que ellos la obtuvieron más rápido, aunque ya la estaban desarrollando.
Listen up, Jack. Your mission is to infiltrate Selino-Yask in the Soviet mountains, ensure the safety of Sokolov, and bring him back to the west. If we don't get Sokolov back before that weapon is complete, we'll be facing a major crisis. The clock is ticking. Once we've confirmed the rescue of Sokolov, stand by at the recovery point. A recovery balloon will be dropped at that point. Helium will be pumped into the balloon to inflate it. The process takes about 20 minutes. Once it's complete, the gunship's arm will latch onto the balloon and pull it up.
The Fulton surface-to-air recovery system. I'm familiar with the theory.
Take it easy. It's been combat-proven.
Do you think Sokolov is up to it?
The shock will be less than during a parachute jump, and the arm can handle up to 500 pounds.
So you're planning on going over the border in a single combat talent?
She's equipped with two 6-barrel 20mm Vulcan cannons, as well as two 40mm machine guns.
Sounds like she could hold her own against a battalion of tanks.
Even with the fuel in the reserve tank, we're facing a 4-hour time limit. If all goes well, it shouldn't take more than a few hours.
Home in time for dinner.
But if anything goes wrong,
You'll be eating dinner, breakfast,
and all the rest of your meals in the jungle.
Snake.
Do you copy? You're already in enemy territory, and somebody might be listening in. From here on out, we'll be using code names to refer to each other. Your code name for this mission will be Naked Snake. I'll be referring to you as Snake from now on. You're not to mention your real name.
Snake?
What, you don't like snakes?
What do you mean?
You've eaten one before, haven't you?
In survival training.
I'm glad to hear that.
I don't know if I'd ever order one in a restaurant, but...
Be careful, you might
Yo sí
not have
quisiera
a
probar
choice.
una.
What about you, Major?
Dicen que
What
en
should I
sopa
call
son
you?
fregoncísimos.
Let's see. I'll be
Ya ve el pendejo.
I'll be Tom.
De
Call me
seguro
Major
dijo
Tom.
serpiente, o sea, esta es otra
This
cosa.
will be a sneaking mission.
Bueno,
You must not be seen by the enemy. You must leave no trace of your presence. Is that clear? This kind of infiltration is the Fox unit's speciality. In other words, weapons and equipment are procured on site. That goes for food as well. You're completely naked, just as your name implies.
Great. Now I see why you asked me if I like snakes. I suppose calling me Snake was your idea
No
of a
tengo
joke,
nada en
too.
contra de los
No,
chistes de
there's
doble
a good
sentido,
reason for
pero
that. I'll tell you
ya
later when
por
the
la
time is right.
18ª vez que no
Gotcha.
puedes hablar con alguien serio,
Getting
pues es
back to
así
the
de...
subject, how
Güey, o
exactly
sea,
am I supposed to
entiendo que
feed
traes mucha
myself?
sequía, güey,
You've
pero
been issued a knife and a
no es mi culpa
tranquilizer
que yo
gun.
sí coma y
Use
casi
them to
tú no.
hunt for food.
Y espero
You'll
que sigan
also find
entendiendo
some
ese doble
medical
sentido,
supplies in your
cara.
backpack.
Yeah, about the backpack. I lost it in a tree on the way down.
I see. Well, you'd better go back and get it then. You know where it is?
No problem. I can see it from here. It's stuck on a branch.
To climb a tree, stand in front of a tree that's covered in ivy and press the action button. I'll be monitoring your progress over the radio. We can't risk violating Soviet airspace, but I'll be in the gunship. My frequency is 140.85.
Sé que el
I'll give
principio es
you a
muy lento,
call
lo
if I
sé,
need to
pero
talk to
ya
you.
después todo es muy
If you need
rápido.
to talk to me, use the send function. Okay, Snake, go get your backpack.
Solo la primera parte, por eso voy a tratar de hacer un poco más de plática para que sea más llevadero y no tan pesado. Wow. Esta nunca lo había jugado esto. Sí, a ver si me acostumbro. Bien. Este tipo de cajas luego están regadas por todo el mapa. A ver. Ok. Ajá, ajá. Ajá. Ah, ok. Ajá. Por ejemplo, si quiero... Bueno, ya. Me estoy tardando demasiado. A ver. Ay, maldita sea. Primer gameplay que juego desde hace mucho y me estoy tardando un buen en siquiera en aprenderme los controles. A ver, creo que es acá. Ouch. Ajá. Ok, ya voy. Y la mochila de sobrevivencia. ¿Cómo la agarro? Ah, bella. Ay, maldito. Ya voy. Ahí está, perfecto. Sí está un poco complicado aprenderte los controles, pero ya después es más fácil.
I see you've retrieved your backpack, Snake. To equip a weapon, it's necessary to take it out of your backpack. In the survival viewer, choose Weapon from the backpack. Your available weapons will be displayed in a window in the upper left. From that list, choose the weapon you want to equip and press the Enter button. For other equipped items, just do the same thing from Item.
Got it. Use the survival viewer backpack.
Yep, that's right. Survival is fundamental to this mission.
Tomen en cuenta que
After
este es
you've been
como un
out in the
tutorial, o
field
sea,
for a
por eso
while,
está
your
muy
stamina
lento
will
ahorita.
start to drop. If your
Pero la
stamina
verdad la
gets
historia
too
vale la
low,
pena.
it'll
O si
affect your
no,
performance.
les recomiendo mucho
You
que
won't be able to shoot
si
accurately, for
quieren saber
example,
más de este
and
juego o
your
les
wounds
aburre
won't
esto,
heal as smoothly.
vean
Keep an eye on your stamina so you
algún
don't
video
run out.
resumen de la historia de
To
los
recover lost
videojuegos de
stamina,
Metal
you
Gear.
can hunt
Muy
for
buenos, la
local
neta.
flora and fauna. You can use either your tranquilizer gun or your knife to hunt.
My only weapon is a Mark 22 Hush Puppy tranquilizer gun?
That's right. It's been fitted with its own suppressor. However, the suppressor will deteriorate every time you fire. Once its durability reaches 0, the noise suppression effect will be gone. So don't get too trigger-happy with it. The suppressor's durability is shown in the icon. Any weapons and equipment beyond what you're carrying now, you'll have to find as you go.
I have to find my own weapons and equipment? Whose crazy idea was this anyway?
Solo covert actions are standard Fox operating procedure. You can't leave any traces of your presence. No weapons, equipment, footprints, sweat, or bodily waste. The same goes for bullets and cartridges, too. Your presence in enemy territory is already a violation of international conventions of warfare. There aren't supposed to be any American soldiers in Russia. It could spark an
Se
international
supone.
incident. You
Pero
can't let
siempre hubo
anyone
soldados
see you.
americanos en la Unión
You can't let
Soviética,
the enemy know
al
you're
igual
there.
que
This is a
espías rusos
stealth
en
mission.
Estados
You're a
Unidos.
ghost, Snake, in every sense of the
De
word.
hecho, había gente común,
There'll be
civiles,
no
que luego se
rescue if you're
acercaban a,
captured. The
por
military
ejemplo,
and US
embajadas
government will deny any
soviéticas
involvement in
allí en
the affair.
Gringolandia y
Then I'll just
pues
have
les
to
decían,
take
quieren
care
que
of
les
myself,
espiemos,
huh?
quieren
I'm
alguna
afraid
ayuda,
so.
no tanto a veces
You've
por
been
los
given a
ideales, sino
fake death
simplemente
bill
por
for
la
that
emoción
purpose.
de ser espías
SAS
y por otra parte
guidelines
pues, te
stipulate that
pagaban.
soldiers on covert ops like this one be issued a potassium cyanide capsule. Tape it to your body so you can take it when you need to.
How generous of you.
Use it if you're taken prisoner by the enemy. It'll send you into a state of false death for a short time.
Fooling them into thinking that I'm really dead. So, how do I come back to life?
Just take the revival pill.
You mean that thing they put in my tooth before the mission?
That's the one. But be careful. If you remain in a state of false death for too long, nothing will be able to bring you back. Remember that.
I'll keep it in mind. You said this was a solo mission, right?
Right.
I guess that means I can't count on any reinforcements.
Correct. The mission rests entirely in your hands.
A real one-man army.
Relax. There's a support team ready to back you up over the radio.
Who?
I'll introduce them to you. This time, survival is of utmost importance. The first member of the support team will be in charge of monitoring your physical condition, acting as a medic, so to speak, as well as recording your mission data. She's a member of Fox as well, and she's here on the gunship with me.
She.
Hello, Snake. I'm paramedic. Nice to meet you.
Paramedic.
As in a medic who comes in by parachute.
Aren't you going to tell me your real name?
Are you going to tell me yours, Mr. Snake?
My name, huh? It's John Doe.
And they call you Jack for short. You're a regular Captain Nemo.
A name means nothing on the battlefield. After a week, no one has a name. What's your name?
Jane Doe.
Very funny.
I wasn't joking, but I'll tell you my name only if you manage to make it back alive. My frequency is 145.73.
She's also in charge of recording your mission data. Whenever you want to save, send a message over the reserved save frequency, 140.96.
So saving lets me record my mission data.
That's right. It also records the state of your health.
Good to know.
There's one more person I want to introduce you to, Snake.
Huh?
Speaking of snakes, you remember the
The
boss, don't you?
Boss. Este es un
A
personaje muy
legendary
importante.
soldier and your mentor.
La mentora y
Actually,
soldada
it was the
legendaria
boss
de
that got
Snake.
the DCI's authorization in the first place. She's going to be serving as Fox's mission advisor.
Boss is?
She also helped me plan this mission. She and I were at SAS together.
Jack, is that you? How many years has it been?
Boss?
That's right. It's me.
Oh.
Talk to me. Let me hear your voice.
It's been 5 years, 72 days, and 18 hours.
You've lost weight.
You can tell just by the sound of my voice.
Of course I can. I know all about you.
Really? Well, I don't know anything about you.
What's that supposed to mean?
Why'd you disappear on me all of a sudden?
I was on a top secret mission. You didn't need me anymore.
But there were still so many things I wanted you to teach me.
No, I taught you everything you needed to know about fighting techniques. I taught you all I could. The rest you needed to learn on your own.
Techniques, sure. But what about how to think like a soldier?
How to think like a soldier? I can't teach you that. A soldier needs to be strong in spirit, body, and technique. And the
Eso
only
está
thing you can
buenísimo.
learn from someone else is technique. In fact, technique doesn't even matter. What's most important is spirit. Spirit and body are like two sides of a single coin. They're the same thing. I can't teach you how to think. You'll just have to figure it out for yourself. Listen to me, Jack. Just because soldiers are on the same side right
Atención
now
a esto.
doesn't mean they always will be. Having personal feelings about your comrades is one of the worst sins you can commit. Politics determine who you face on the battlefield. And politics are a living thing. They change
cambia con
along
los
with the
tiempos.
times. Yesterday's good might be tomorrow's evil.
Is that why you abandoned me?
No, it had nothing to do with you. I already told you, Jack. I was on a top secret mission. A soldier has to follow whatever orders he's given. It's not his place to question why. But you're looking for a reason to fight. You're a natural-born fighter, but you're not quite a soldier. A soldier is a political tool, nothing more. That's doubly true if he's a career soldier. Right and wrong have no place in his mission. He has no enemies and no friends.
Por eso es que
Only the mission.
solo seguimos órdenes,
You
¿no? Los
follow the
soldados.
orders you're given.
O sea,
That's what
eso es
being a
ser un
soldier
soldado.
is.
I do whatever I have to get the job done. I don't think about politics.
That's not the same thing. Sooner or later, your conscience is going to bother you. In the end, you have to choose whether you're going to live as a soldier or just another man with a gun. There's a saying in the Orient, loyalty to the end. Do you know what it means?
Being patriotic.
It means devoting yourself to your country.
I follow the president and the top brass. I'm ready to die for them if necessary.
The president and the top brass won't be there forever. Once their terms are up, others will take their place.
I follow the will of the leader, no matter who's in charge.
People aren't the ones who dictate the missions.
Then who does?
The times. People's values change over time,
Ujú.
and so do the leaders of a country. So there's no such thing as an enemy in absolute terms. The enemies we fight are only enemies in relative terms,
Cambian con
constantly
el tiempo.
changing with the times. As long as we have loyalty to the end, there's no point in believing in anything, even in those we love.
And that's the way a soldier's supposed to think?
The only thing we can believe in with absolute certainty is the mission, Jack.
All right, but do me a favor.
What is it?
Call me Snake.
Snake. Oh, right. Your code name is Snake. It suits you well.
That's right. The legendary unit that the boss put together during World War II was a snake. The Cobra unit, a group of heroes that brought the war to an end and saved the world. As long as you've got a legendary hero backing you up, you'll be fine. Isn't that right, Snake?
Yeah, I can't think of anyone else I'd rather have with me. Oh, and one more thing, boss.
Yes,
It's good to hear your voice again.
same here. After all, who knows if either of us will make it out alive? Snake, you are always best at urban warfare and infiltrating buildings. But this is the jungle. Survival is going to be key. Those CQC techniques I taught you are sure to come in handy.
CQC. Close quarters combat, huh? I've been in the Green Berets for the past few years. I'm probably pretty rusty.
Not to worry. I'll be here to help you remember. After all, this is your first actual survival mission. I'll be supporting you over the radio.
Where are you, boss? Next to the major?
The boss is communicating with us by radio from aboard a Permit-class submarine in the Arctic Ocean.
My frequency is 141.80. Call me if you need my advice on battle techniques.
Gotcha.
Your mission is to retrieve Dr. Sokolov. Dr. Sokolov is being held in an abandoned factory located to the north of your current position. Avoid heavy combat and don't let anyone see you. Don't forget that this is a stealth mission.
Muy bien. De hecho, a mí me gusta esa parte de...
Snake,
la
Try
plática
to
de,
remember
de
some of the
voz.
basics of CQC.
Commencing virtuous mission now.
No. Me gusta mucho esa plática que tiene de voz con Jack, o sea, con Snake. Snake. Cómo habla de que los ¿cómo es? Ay, otra vez dice que se agacha. Me cago. Ok. Que el bien de hoy es el mal de mañana, o viceversa. ¿Cómo se dice esto? Ah, vientos. Ya. Capturé una serpiente y desbloqueé un logro. Ok. A ver qué más hay por acá. Árboles. Se supone que aquí podemos capturar de todo. Fauna, flora. Posteriormente lo podemos utilizar para comerlo o para hacer algún material. O sea, es supervivencia. De hecho, mochila. Ok. Esto ahorita no. Curioso. Que lo tengan en el diente. Puro ahorita no. Prismáticos. Sí. Arma. ¿Esto para qué servía? No me sale para qué sirve. No. Ya. Más fácil. Ay, disparé sin querer, cara. Y con qué recargo. Disculpen si me tardo, es para saber con qué con qué recargo. Bueno, ahorita veo con qué recargo. Mochila, armas. Esto creo que no. Ok. Y camuflaje. Que te tienes que camuflajear bien. Corteza. Hoja. Vientos. Che, si supiera nada más con qué recargar. Ajá, suelta, dispara. Otra vez miren, chicken, voy a disparar sin querer. Ah. Bueno. Después checo con qué recargo. Aquí hay un cocodrilo y hay otro. Que de hecho creo que me conviene sedarlos. Ahí está, le disparé y lo sedé. Repelente, perfecto. Uy, ese es un cocodrilo. Duermo a este. Y aquí hay un panal. Esto me va a servir después. Ah, me estoy hundiendo. Ojalá no me ataque el cocodrilo. El otro que está cerca, no. Y aquí hay otra cosa. alcancé a dormir. Me lleva. Vientos. Ya me voy. Vientos. Y aquí había una fruta. Vientos. Luego por aquí hay que tener cuidado porque, por ejemplo, vean, aquí hay una serpiente. A ver si le doy. Fuerza, si le di. Porque luego estás agachado, te vas arrastrando y te pueden morder. Ay, maldita sea, no sé cómo recargar todavía. A ver, rápidamente. No. Nada más quiero saber cómo recargar. No, enviar, guardar. Sintonizar. Bueno, no. Después lo checo. Que hay enemigos ahí al fondo. De hecho, este gameplay lo voy a pasar sin matar a nadie, excepto a los bosses, ¿no? A los
I've
jefes.
spotted 2 enemy soldiers.
They're probably KGB troops sent to guard Sokolov.
Pero no voy a matar a ninguno, los voy a dormir.
Grenades.
Snake, your presence in Soviet territory is already a violation of international law. We can't let the Kremlin find out that the CIA and the American government are involved. Contact with the enemy is strictly prohibited. Don't engage them in battle either. This is a stealth mission. Got that?
The Major is right. The point of this mission is to sneak through the jungle without being seen. The success of the mission depends on how well you use your camouflage. Change your camouflage by selecting Camouflage from the Survival Viewer. The Uniform option lets you pick your uniform, while the Face option lets you change your face paint. Choosing camouflage that blends in with your surroundings will help you conceal yourself more effectively. Also, don't forget that anything that moves will stand out in the jungle. If you just stand up and run around like an idiot, you're bound to be spotted. But if you crawl instead, you should be able to sneak by without being noticed. You can see how effective your camouflage is by looking at the Camo Index. The Camo Index shows how well your current camouflage blends in with the surrounding area. The higher the value, the harder you are to spot, and vice versa. The key is to make yourself one with nature. Keep that in mind as you go along, okay?
Ok. Oh, no te agaches. Rayos. Ajá. Eso no quiero. No. Bien, pues ya encontramos algo más. Este cuate. Ahí está, en la cabeza. Cuando les das en la cabeza, luego se duerme. Y creo que si les das en el cuerpo, tardan en dormirse, pero sí se acaban durmiendo. Ahí está, ese cuate le alcancé a disparar desde muy lejos. Vamos a ver si se duerme. Aquí no hay nada más oculto. No. Sí, se durmió. No sé si alcanzaron a escuchar. Y estos cuates, si les disparas en el radio, que es la cosa que brilla, no pueden comunicarse después. Creo que vamos bien. Igual menos no nos han visto. Oh, oh.
What's wrong?
A ver si no lo ve su amigo. Vientos. Uf. Por aquí arriba había algo. No. Bueno, después veo. Ay, aunque quisiera sacar todos los secretos y sorpresas de este juego, aún soy muy noob. Vea, casi. Sí, me fui para un lado que no era, creo. Ah, no, creo que sí era. Vientos. Por nada me ven. Ahora entiendo por qué luego cuando veía gameplays decía, no inventes, ¿por qué no hacen esto de tal manera? ¿Qué tan difícil será? Pero es que sí, los controles son un poco diferentes. Le voy a disparar a ese panel. Creo que sí no era. No, ya la fregué.
There's nothing here.
Bueno, ya le disparé ese cute. Ahora tengo que esperar a que se duerma.
It's just my imagination.
Ah, ya se cayó. Originalmente tenía que hacer que el panal le cayera, pero no le... Ah, es que le disparé una maldita fruta, che. O bueno, puedo esperar a que... Ah, che, ahí vienen dos de sus amigos. Ay, güey. De hecho, por aquí hay una ranita, no sé si la alcanzan a ver. De color verde. Ahí está arriba. Le voy a aventar el panal. Ahí está, ya cayó el panal. ¿Ya vieron? Ahora se va a ir. Este cuate que acaba de despertar no sé si haga lo mismo. Parece que no. Así que lo vuelvo a dormir. Sus amigos ya se fueron. Excelente. Y tengo poco tiempo antes de que regrese. Porque si acaban regresando. Ah, casi me caigo. Bueno, me caí. Ah, eso es lo que no se tiene que hacer. A ver, volvemos a este punto. Esto originalmente es lo que tenía que hacer. Esa es una fruta.
The enemy. He's here.
Eso no era. Le disparé a una ranita, no sé si vieron que hace ruido. Y le disparo a ese panal. El panal cae y me empieza a llenar de abejas. Ahí están sus tres amigos. ¿Ya vieron? Y se echan a correr. Porque las abejas los atacan. Ya dormí. Dormí a ese. Aquí tengo que tener mucho cuidado. Ah, ya vi cómo tengo que hacerlo. Porque aquí hay unas cosas ocultas. Ajá. Creo que eso no sirve. Los cuates se tiran.
I'm in HQ.
This is HQ.
Control here. Unable to determine the problem.
Understood. Resume your patrol.
Ya lo vi. No tengo que volver a dormir. Ah, no puedo disparar tirado en el suelo. ¿El por qué?
What's wrong? What's wrong?
HQ, respond.
This is HQ.
Patrol here. We're under enemy fire. Enemy's position is unknown. Going into alert formation.
Mejor me voy a esperar.
Acknowledged. Sending reinforcements. Use extra caution.
Yo creo que ya me voy. No manches. No. Esto se ve tan fácil en algunos otros videos. Mejor me voy a esperar aquí.
What's wrong?
Ay, güey. Y yo creo que por aquí ya me voy. Ajá, sí ya. Ay, güey, casi me ven, caray. Créanme que sí está difícil acostumbrarte a los controles, caray. Ya gasté más silenciadores y munición de la que esperaba.
Major, I've reached the abandoned factory where Sokolov is supposedly being held. This place is a dump. I can't see Sokolov from here. The security is pretty tight. There are sentries posted around the perimeter. I wonder how many are inside.
Your object. Him in a room in the northeast section.
Northeast section. Got it.
Be careful. Your mission is to bring Sokolov back alive. He must not be exposed to any kind of danger. Do not approach Sokolov while in the alert phase.
Right.
Oh, and one more thing, Snake.
You mean there's more?
No, it's just that when you get to Sokolov, I want you to tell him something from me.
And that is?
Sorry for being so late.
Is that all?
Yes.
Understood. Beginning my approach to the target.
Esperemos que nos vaya bien. Le disparé a ese cuate, no se desmayó, pero le di en el cuerpo. Así que en algún momento tendrá que desmayarse. Se me acabó el silenciador y no me di cuenta. Está cerca de mí. No manches, está difícil este juego. Creo que por acá es que no me puedo levantar. Creo que no le estoy dando por el maldito pasto. Voy a tratar de alejar. No sé si me convenga medio acercarme. Creo que no me ve. No, no me ve. Ahí está, alcancé a disparar en la cabeza. Está medio difícil esto. A este, para que no despierte, le voy a disparar también. Ya está dormido, pero ya lleva bastante dormido. Entonces puede despertar. Creo que no hay nadie. Tampoco veo a nadie aquí. Aquí ya hay alguien. Sí, se me fue. Ahí está, sí, cuate. Vamos. Otra vez se me fue sin piedad.
What the? I'm just seeing things.
Esos dos van a despertar en algún momento. Ahí está, no está tan fácil como pensar.
What the?
Ajá. Ahí está. Uy, ahí está otro último. Ahí está. Todos en la cabeza. Los cuates siguen durmiendo. Según yo ya están todos dormidos, pero... espero que no se despierte nadie. Es difícil esto. No manches, sí está difícil. Yo pensé que era más fácil. Los se tan sencillo en los gameplays de otros youtubers.
You must be Sokolov.
Are you one of Volgin's men? You'll never get it from me.
No. I'm a CIA agent. I've come to escort you back to the other side of the Iron Curtain.
You're CIA?
Yeah. I was sent by Major Zero, the man who got you out 2 years ago.
Zero?
I have a message from him.
What is it?
He said to tell you sorry for being so late.
Did he now?
What does it mean?
It means He's a man of his word. But we've got no time for this. You have to get me out of here before they arrive.
Who's they?
Colonel Volgin of Gru. You in the West know him as Thunderbolt.
Thunderbolt? Never heard of him.
He's a member of the Army's extremist faction, a man who seeks to seize control of the motherland. Ever since the Cuban Missile Crisis 2 years ago, Khrushchev has been pursuing a policy of peaceful coexistence with the West. Despite resistance and criticism from hawks in the army and the provincial authorities, Khrushchev has managed to suppress the opposition so far. But the failure of his agricultural policies has put him in a precarious position. And on top of that, the tragedy last November.
President Kennedy's assassination.
Precisely. In a sense, Khrushchev has lost his biggest partner, and his power base is rapidly crumbling away. A certain group is plotting to use this opportunity to seize power by rallying the anti-government forces, overthrowing Khrushchev, and installing Brezhnev and Kosygin in his place. The mastermind behind this plot is Colonel Volgin of the Gru. He has control over another secret weapons research facility much like this one, OKB-812, known as the Granin Design Bureau, and is using it to further his plans. But that is not enough to satisfy him. Now he's plotting to seize the secret weapon I have been developing here and use it as leverage in his bid for power. The intelligence says that they are going to make their move during the test.
Then, the soldiers outside.
Exactly. They wouldn't need that many men just to keep me inside. Their orders were to prevent Colonel Volgin from capturing me. Even if it meant killing me in the process, or so it would seem. Volgin will come, I'm sure of it. You must get me out of here before then.
Leave it to me.
By the way, your Russian is superb. Where did you learn to speak it?
From my mentor.
Lógicamente nosotros lo escuchamos en inglés, o sea, bueno, con subtítulo en español, pues están hablando ruso, ¿no? Pero